first lecture from this course. We talk about pre-season planning, and nowadays we're facing a completely different environment because we don't know how exactly teams will start again to train, and what are the rules, or what we can actually do, how many players you can have together. So it will be very challenging, very demanding. But the case we'll share with you today will be a training session, pre-season. We put that together before this situation, the virus, and we all adjust according to that. But we did not aim to show you a for highest level of football, because we believe most of us will not work on a highest level, but also on academy level. So I think it's easier deliver this particular program and then adjust if you work at highest levels. So these are the topics we're going to talk. What are the benefits of the preseason? Which way is the best? Preseason program, competitive microcycle, which is very important. We'll address that, to work on this competitive microcycle during the preseason. And we'll share a few training drills and small-sided games. So what are the benefits of preseasons? So preseason, most of times, or a lot of coaches look at the preseason as a period where they can load players, a lot of physical work, and to look to hit that super compensation on the first week of the season. We're looking to work on our preseason, not on a physical level, but also, and very important in our perspective, in a tactical vision. That's a big period of the season, maybe the only one, where you can work our principles, our style, our philosophy of play, without the real pressure of winning games. So we'll have time to set our ideas, to set our standards, to define our objectives. And I'll move quick for this slide here. And also, when we work on a tactical side, that is required to the players. It's mentally very demanding. So they'll need time to recover from that new information. Imagine in a lot of squads, professional squads, even at academy level, we can have players from different backgrounds, from different styles of play, from different methodology of training. So we need to put all that together and make sure the players you will hit the first week of the session, maybe not on their highest fitness level, because the season is very, very long period, and we have to achieve a level that the players can maintain that level for the longest period as possible, and not just hitting certain peaks of the season, because that will be a big problem, because we play week after week, and the players will need to be able to perform physically, and above all tactically and technically. They need to be very organized, and that we need to organize our preseason in order for the players to have time to recover from that new information, and they need to have time to learn, to try our new ideas, to fail them, and keep work them until they learn and they feel confident to play and to perform that. So preseason can have a few characteristics, like coaches' goals and the club objectives. Obviously, the duration of preseason, how many weeks, how many training sessions, the number of training opportunities per week, schedule of availability, equipment, facilities, how many pitches do we have, how many small goals, big goals, cones, bibs, hurdles, ladders, how quiet is the environment around us. Are we based in the countryside? Are we based in the center of the city? How many hours do we have to travel? Are we doing a training camp? Are we staying in based on where the club is founded? If you go for a training camp and if you go for travel, each place should we go. I can share experience where I worked in a club in England, and the club decided to go on pre-season, not to the south of Europe where it is very warm during the summer, but instead that go for a place slightly warmer that the place will find during the season, because the preseason is a moment to prepare those players to what they're gonna face ahead. And obviously they spend like a week and a half in a not cold but um, not warm environment. Okay, so in this case, we as a club decide to go to a place where we can prepare the players for the season ahead with the same weather conditions. And obviously, after the week and a half, we travel to the south of Europe just for the players to chill a bit, train with the nice weather. We invite their families to join with different objectives on that part of the preseason. So the climate conditions is a very important part, and we will take that in consideration to the preseason or not. Different coaches, different clubs, different philosophies. In my opinion, it's not right or wrong. It's about making decisions what we need to prioritize. And then players' characteristics, playing level. What is their level, where they come from, their age, their training age, how many players we have. Imagine if we have a squad with average players with 10 years of professional football, or do we have a squad with players that have 3, 4, or 5 years of average professional football. Their gender, obviously, male or female. Returning conditioning, how many players we have coming from a severe injury, or the players we receiving for the first day, are they coming from a World Cup, or are they coming from a 6 weeks break? On those six weeks, they have been doing some kind of off-season program, or not at all. Medical history. Again, this goes towards the injuries and their background, operations, what kind of work and we need to do, individual work we need to do with each individual we have in front of us. So all those things need to be addressed in order to organize preseason. So like any training program, they will be different because the context we are involved will be different. Different players require different programs. And then another very important topic, I'm not going to read all that, but is the preseason is a moment we need to organize in big detail in order to prepare the players for the season and avoid injuries. And we can measure the quality of our training program by the number of soft tissue and non-contact injuries we have during our season. And if we start a season and at the end of the preseason, so at the end of the first week of preseason, we start getting a lot of injuries, perhaps we need to reflect, discuss, and adjust some of our program, because something needs to be changed in order to not get that many injuries. And the other way, if we start getting a lot of injuries, to make sure, so if you want to keep high intensity sessions and that lead us to a lot of injuries, we'll end up in a situation where most of our players will fail to our training program for preseason. So they're not doing our preseason program. So we feel a big opportunity to have time to work either physical, if is that the most important thing, and the tactical and the technical side our football. So it's a very important period to prepare our players, to let them fit and prepare to avoid injuries during the season. Each way is the best. In my opinion, is not right or wrong. That's different philosophies, different methods. If I maybe what we are watching now will be our future. So maybe at the moment we have to do individual work, and perhaps you need to do more running than football-based training programs. However, in a normal day, in my opinion, these kind of drills are much better to development of our players and to develop our style of play. If we analyze both work rates, the players are moving and running at the same pace, more or less. But in one side, they're performing football. At the other side, they're just doing running. Again, I'm not saying one is better than another, different approach. I prefer myself a systemic approach. However, maybe if in 2 weeks' time, if you come to watch my preseason, our players will be running like that, because at the moment in Portugal, we have to do individual work so far. So what approach we have to approach according to the context we are involved. In a normal day, in normal world, systemic approach for me personally are the most effective and specific. And we addressed a lot how important is our training program to be specific. And on the drill from Sheffield, we can see the players not just doing a physical work running, but they have to do that according to the way of defend or a way of attacking. And that's for us is very, very important, is a starting point. Doesn't mean we're not using GPS and heart rate monitors, and we realized that the players didn't cover the distance we wanted to be covered, and that doesn't mean we don't gonna make them run if needed, and if that is a big part of our training program. But we should, in our opinion, to start from football and a specific training methodology with a systemic approach. We have some constraints. The program I will share to you is from Portimonense Academy, where not all the coaches or all the athletes will be full-time. So we need to address different problems in order to have everyone available at the same time. So we have different players coming from different parts of Algarve. We have different coaches. Some are full-time staff. Others will be part-time, so they have different jobs to do during the day. So when can I just give an example? If I need and we want to have as much as possible our video analysts in our training sessions to record and break down our drills, but he has to do, and he's a teacher because he does have a full-time job at the club. We need to organize our training sessions in his available time, or just giving this example, in order to have that information. So it's a couple of things to organize, and this mainly will lead to a problem that we would like to address more double sessions, and at the moment is impossible to make double sessions because the availability of schedule for the coaches, players, and the logistic of transport and the space availability, because the club only have 2 pitches for the academy, and to provide enough time and a full pitch for everyone to train with a full pitch, that will not give opportunity to perform double sessions during the week, during the same day. So according to that, we define a program with 23 training sessions, single sessions. 70 sessions will be bigger pitch, and you'll realize that the first week and the second week mainly will be bigger pitch. Macro principles will be a lot big numbers, and then 6 training sessions with small pitch where we work a small the sub principles of it says macro, sorry, it's micro principles on a 6 training session, small pitch. It's micro principles of the game. 6 interval training, running, 3 training sessions with speed and deceleration based. This is the physical components of our sessions. 4 speed training sessions, 6 friendly matches, and this program can be adjusted at any time after reflection and coaching staff discussion. As I mentioned before, imagine with the program we will share with you, we realize that at the end of the first week, we start getting a lot of injuries. We need to adjust this program. Maybe this program is perfect. Let's say if it is perfect, but our players are not just fit enough to perform because during the break they haven't done any work, or they have been not looking after themselves in terms of nutrition or hydration, or they drank too much alcohol, or they not say going to party, because at the moment no one can do that. But so we need to be aware of what's happening around us with this program and adjust if needed. So it's easy. I was saying it's easier to change the program rather than change 20 players. So we have Monday to Sunday. We have on the first day a medical assessment, biometric testing, and then we have 5 sessions and an indoors friendly match. We have on blue, we have different physical fitness testing. We have yo-yo intermittent recovery testing, the RAST, straight speed testing, straight line running, and those tests were organized by our sports science department in order to assess our training program more than assessing the players. So this sports science department, they have recorded throughout the years all the testing, and they know more or less when the players are able to perform a certain level of this in this testing, they will be able to respond to this kind of program on pre-season without getting risk of injuries. And then we'll see, we have 1 week where we decrease the volume of the week and the intensity, and where we retest the players to understand if they are on their peak, if you can push them for a little bit more that week off, or if you have to recover them in order to, or they would be too tired, so you need to recover them in order to be able to perform the first match of the season. And on red, as you can see, we have 4 sessions, bigger pitch, bigger numbers, macro principles, and on green, where we have even 6v6 is a big number, but we will address on that session sub principles of our game. And then we have a friendly match on Saturday with 2 periods of 20 minutes. That will be our first. Okay, so second week. On this second week, there are a couple of things different. One of them will be the players will have to perform more time on the friendly match. So before was 2 sets of 20 minutes. This session will be 2 of 30 minutes. And again, on this week, we're still addressing a lot of macro principles, big numbers, bigger dimension of the pitch. And it's very important to address this way, because if you go and start the first week and the second week with 4v4, 3v3, 2v2, will increase a lot the risk of injuries. So we need to make sure the players, first of all, start to understand the bigger picture, the way, the philosophy we want to play. And when we have a situation like 8v8, 9v9, bigger areas, we'll have less physical contact between the players, and that decreases a lot of the risk of injuries. And as we watched on that video from Sheffield, when we have bigger areas to cover, a lot of players involved in one drill, obviously where is the ball, the center of the game, that's where we have the ball, and the 3, 4, 5, 6 players involved on that moment of the game, they all perform in that in a very high intensity level, but the remaining players will be just standing or jogging around. So that decreases a lot of the intensity of the session and let them be able to perform that. And with that, in a situation like that, we'll be able to work and organize our bigger principles of our game and decrease the risk of injuries. We walking towards the end of the second week, we start introducing small-sided games where we will start working our micro principles, and we start working our the shape of our unities, our back four, our midfielders, our center forwards. We will address small details like body positioning, open body orientation, for the back four, controlling the space between them and the goal, the space between them and the midfielders, and small details like that. Obviously, when we decrease the number of the players and we make the pitch shorter, we can increase the intensity of the drills and the intensity of their work. So we're shifting from volume to intensity, but always keep the quality of the work, addressing the principles and the philosophy of the game we want to implement in our team. Moving to the third week, we'll realize that we'll have more small-sided games involved here. And also how we will increase the intensity on this week, involving 2 matches, one on Wednesday and one on Saturday. The preseason is very, very, very important to address several scenarios. One of them is if we play in a league, doesn't matter the level, where we have a midweek games, and we have to address that during the preseason. We have to prepare our players for all the scenarios they will be facing off during the season. So we recreate here a scenario with more intensity, less recovering sessions, obviously, but where the players need to cope with 2 matches during the week. Of course, you're going to say, yeah, but they're not playing 90 minutes, obviously, because, again, we're building up their performance level, not the fitness level, but the performance level, the ability the players have to perform our style of football with the intensity we want to play, and not just building their fitness. We're working to build more than fitness, ability to perform highest football with a quality, organization, and with principles. And here, as you can see, we have 2 sessions addressing bigger areas and 2 sessions addressing the smaller areas. On the green sessions, we can manage one thing, which is the volume and the recovering period, in order for them to be able to perform high intensity work, recover from that, and be able to be recovered to play the match on the following day. Another thing I would like to address on this recovery period after the training sessions, we not address all these ice baths. Obviously, hydration, nutrition, and sleep is very, very important to control that. But in terms of ice baths, stretching or foam rolling, we're not addressing that on the first week of our preseason or second week, for the body of the players be able to regenerate for themselves. And when we addressing more load on their bodies, so we introduce these strategies, but as a process we have all them write down, so we know we have this available to use if needed. On the fourth week of our preseason, we will see a very fine detail. So, as I mentioned on a slide, saying we have this availability process that our availability, the coaches and the players not be available all the time to perform double sessions. One way you use to increase the load of the sessions, the intensity of the week, is creating overload drills, or drills where the players can be playing with one or two players, or in one moment, and the other moment they're playing with less one or two players. So that create a situation where for a couple minutes the players need to cover more distance, increase their work rate. And on this week we also work another macro and micro principles, addressing a problem that when we will play without with one player down, and we will do that, we'll facing that, because I never met a team that never get a player sent off or add a player injured player, so I had to play 5-10 minutes with one or two players down. That will happen in some stage of the season, and we have time to work that on our preseason. So in order to create more intensity on our drills, we play like 8v6, and we have to coach the team with 6 players how they will defend against 8 players, or 10v8, whatever, and how we will defend against a team with 11 players, and how we will attack, what strategies we will use, what principles we have to use, how we're going to defend. We will drop, we will stay high, how we're going to do that is the coach philosophy, but we need to create a scenario to work on that. And on this week we all just put a friendly match where the coach at the end of the week, where the coach decide how many minutes they want players to play. Imagine if a coach wants to start to try their starting 11, dressing like they have to play 60 or 70 minutes or 75 minutes. What we'll try to arrange is 2 friendly matches and create 2 training groups. So one will play 70 minutes, imagine on the morning, 70 minutes. Another group just play 20, and at the afternoon we'll turn around. The guys who play 20 will play 70, and the other guys who play 20 minutes. And so in this case we give the same opportunities to everyone, but the coach start creating their starting 11, which is very, very important. That program is designed by our sports science department. As you can see in these slides, we have speed training, interval training, so they design all that. And how we combine this is create, for instance, like 3 groups, and two groups are playing a drill of football, a small-sided games, or a drill where the coach is coaching is football according to the intensity we want to perform that moment of the game. And the third group will do, like on this case on Friday, speed training on a side. And then imagine this team who performs this drill speed training come and play football, another team go for that running. And those drills could be with or without the ball. That will go towards to sports science department. I can address that question a bit after, where we'll have those speed trainings. There will be even these drills here will be more pitch based in terms. I don't know if you take that question takes in consideration gym work that we don't put on this program, so that will go more towards the sports science. All training sessions we will take at least 90 minutes. Not a lot more than that, but the coaches have 90 minutes available for, and the full pitch available for them. What will change in each training sessions will be the density of the session. What I mean is some sessions will have more recover time than others, so more sessions will be more missing the word the available. So in 90 minutes, some sessions they'll train 70 minutes, and other sessions they'll train 80 minutes, if I can make me understand, because some will have more recovery periods than others. And one thing we coach our coaches is how to build sessions, especially during the week, during the competitive period, where we just do obviously single sessions, and we have age group after age group going into the pitch. So we have those slots, and they have to start on time and finish on time in order to the other age group have their time to train. Is how they can organize a training session in order to maximize the time they have available. Okay, so there'll be 90 minutes full pitch for them, and the density of the sessions will be different from session to session. So sessions with 4v4s will be like periods of sets of 4, like this one, 4 of 3 minutes with 1 minute recover. And this session on Wednesday will be 4 minutes with 1 minute recovery. So this session on Wednesday will be more density, will be more work, but the intensity of that session perhaps will be different. So in this session we retest the players, and then we discuss after on Sunday. Everyone sit down and talk, and we discuss, and we define what we need to do for next week. But also in this week we train something very important, which is our traditional microcycle, competitive microcycle. So if we play on Saturday, where we're going to play on Saturday on this microcycle, we have Friday day off. I'm talking academy level. Sunday day off, and we start on Monday. So the players start getting used to their normal routine, the routine they will have during the season. Okay. Again, here's if the coach wants to organize 2 friendlies in order to put all the players involved and give the same time of play, the coach are free to do it. So on this session and this week here, we train our players, prepare them for the normal framework during the season. And this session here and this week we address a lot of more small principles of our sub principles of our game, with less bigger areas, more small areas, and work on the details. So we hope at this stage of pre-season that all the players can master our principles, and we can address more our sub principles of our game. And then we head into our first competitive microcycle, where we have a recovery period. I'm here Monday to Sunday, but traditionally we have this. So imagine it starts on Monday, but we have 4 training sessions. We have Saturday off in our academy here, and then we perform a day after that. So we have 4 sessions. First session will be a recovery period. On Wednesday, we address small-sided games, specific in strength, 4v4s, 3v3, 2v2s, sub principles. On Thursday, we will address bigger areas, endurance, specific drills, macro principles, a lot of players involved, like it was on the first and second week of preseason. Friday we address speed and again sub principles, and if needed we can address some macro principles if needed, but we need to be aware of the recover period. We're just 48 hours away of the next match. And if we're able to train on Saturday, we have these guidelines to work on Saturday. On a professional environment, this is the way we organize. When you have 5 sessions per week, on this scenario I'm sharing with you, we only have 4 training sessions, so we have to condense this work, and this video analysis meeting should be addressed throughout the week. Well, but we're not talking about that on this course and webinar. And we have a couple exercises, drills we suggest our coaches to perform and to do that with our players. So this is the graph where I mentioned we have 4 weeks where we're loading the players, and then we have this 5th week where we organize and plan with less volume, less time of practice, but to give us opportunity to manage that, or we recover our players, or we keep working them, because we retest them on that week before, and then we have time to adjust and recover to adjust them. I mean, keep loading them, and when I mean load, will be in a tactical and a physical side, not just a physical side, because we know the players have time to recover for the first competitive microcycle. And I'll sharing with you some drills we used for the guys who've been with us in the previous course. They check some of these drills. So here we have 2 drills, 4v4 on the center of the pitch there, and 2v2s here. It will be fullback and winger against another fullback and winger. Small sub principles here. Drills we perform on that green day when you see on pre-season. Here, more players involved, working, building out the back, and how the yellow guys will organize and what shape you use in order to win the ball back and attack the goal. I'll not go through the principles the tactical principles we're working on here, but that's a trigger moment. Back pass, attack the ball, 1-2s, and try to get into the goal quick as possible. Okay. 6v6 here, working in the middle third. Always try to create a scenario where the players understand what kind of principles they have to use in certain areas of the pitch in certain moments. So create the right scenario with the players playing on their position, facing real oppositioning, making decisions, playing the game with the intensity we want. And for us, this is much more rich than just putting players to run around the pitch. Another one here. So different drills, not saying these drills are the best ones, the best drills on the world, just the drills we use. Some more competitive than others. In this case, this drill is more competitive. 3 teams. These guys are resting on a side. These are playing like a small tournament. And these 3 here have more tactical organization. So numerical variability, the drills I mentioned on that week where we put 4v2 and how we can defend and organize our team to win the ball back. And sometimes we start with drills like this. Imagine we have 2 center backs and 2 full backs against 2 center forwards and 2 midfielders, and how what principles you use to win the ball back against the back 4 when we have just 2 players defending them. And then another drill where we have players 6v6 organizing their positioning, and this drill will be running. They'll playing in for one period. The coach shout one number, and the player recognize that's his number. He has to go and run around the pitch and come back. And he understand if he goes slow, there's more chances to concede a goal because his team is playing with one player down. So he needs to run quick to excel himself and show team spirit in order to come back and avoid playing a lot of time with one player down. Same kind of philosophy on this drill, but with different tactical shape. We use in different areas of the pitch. So we using 6 players as well here, but on this drill, the second drill, I'll show you, we used more the 2 center forwards and the 4 midfielders. Here we have imagine a back 4 and 2 midfielders, two center forwards and 2 midfielders and 2 wingers. So different shapes, organizing different way, same drill, same way. We can do 1 team running at a time, 2 teams running at a time. So depends on the objectives of the session. Sorry, this is still in Portuguese here. I will change that before I send that to you. So here, same drill, 4v4. The team on the ball always has a spare player, okay? So he win the ball back. Here we have attacking these goals. We have 1 center back, 1 winger, 1 midfielder, and 1 center back, full back, winger, and a midfielder. So the players who used to play on this area of the pitch are attacking these goals. The players used to be left back, midfielder, center forward, and winger attacking that goal, attacking in this direction. So create a context, real context where the players are involved on the match. Another drill here where we have 1 team with numerical advantage and how we defend that. And if we win the ball back, how we attack again, recognize what we want to do. Or in this case, this drill here, we trying to recreate the guys on red and black are performing the principles of our next opposition. So we knew that every time they win the ball back, they will play a long direct ball. So these 3 players here, they would perform that. Every time they win the ball back, they would play a long ball. So to make sure these guys here would be ready to defend that and very compact and organized. Sometimes use this scenario, which is 1 team for, in this case, these guys would perform the principles that we know that the opposition team will gonna do in order to prepare our players for the next match. Guys, thank you very much for your attention. Hope you enjoyed. I'll pass the word into Raul now. It was absolutely a pleasure. Feel free to ask or email us any question. Thank you.